Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Stephen Pryor. I serve as Governor McKee's Commerce Secretary. Very proud to be with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, today we announce that we have a plan to breathe new life into the Superman building. Precisely 9 years ago, on April 12th, 2013, at 2 p.m., Bank of America completed its last workday in the Superman building. Exactly 9 years ago. It's been dormant since, despite some good efforts. We're very pleased that this extraordinary coalition, led by the governor and mayor, has come together with the development team, thank you, Mr. Sweetser, to reach this day. Now, there are many days ahead of us. All what we're going to describe today needs to be executed and enacted through government panels and through developer actions, but we are very encouraged that we've reached this point. This is a $220 million project. It will involve the residential conversion of this iconic tower, and it will include 285 new residential units. Truly an extraordinary coalition, and we're so grateful to our elected leaders, plural. We're going to introduce all of them. It is a significant program today, but there's a lot to say and a lot of recognition to be offered, and it certainly starts with our governor, who in this very room months ago, meeting with Mr. Sweetser and our teams, declared that we had some tough negotiations ahead, but that if we took them seriously and we each bargained hard and we worked on behalf of Rhode Islanders, we could get there with a deal that protects the taxpayers and does breathe new life into this building. So it is my true honor to introduce Governor Dan McKee.
You did good.
Stephen, thank you. And, good shout out to your entire team, Stephen, for your persistence and the stick-to-itiveness that needs to happen when when you get involved with a project that, had, times when it didn't look like it was going to happen over those years. But today, we're here to declare that Rhode Island has momentum. It has economic momentum. And with the partnerships in Providence, with the mayor, this is just another example of that. With our developers, those who are willing to put their dollars invested into the state of Rhode Island at the pace that we are currently investing in the state of Rhode Island with private funding and private investment. It is an extraordinary time for the state, and it doesn't happen without great partnerships. Certainly with our leadership, with the Speaker and the President. Thank you so much for your involvement and your encouragement during this process, along with the Providence contingent with the Mayor and our Council President that's here today, along with Mike Sabatoni, we're all about jobs and good paying jobs. And this is going to provide jobs and good paying jobs. And at the end of the day, it's going to light up a building that has not been lit in almost a decade. And that's one of our goals. One of our goals was to continue to check off the boxes and make sure that we take advantage of every opportunity that we have in front of us. So David, from the from High Rock Development, thank you so much for your persistence and I just witnessed a signature of an MOU document in my office with Neil and our Lieutenant Governor as well there, and representation from your company. So thank you for that. Have Neil Steinberg here as well, continue to talk about the Rhode Island Foundation. And we say often, at this podium, the foundation was a great partner in helping getting this done. And we want to recognize everybody that has been involved in this effort. Over the last several months, you've probably heard me say Rhode Island has this momentum. And thanks in large part to having the highest vaccination rates in the nation, we're leading the Northeast in our economic recovery. Today, we're just adding to that. There's no reason that the state of Rhode Island needs to be first in and last out of these economic downturns. There's no reason that that needs to continue. And with the investments that we're talking about today, it just continues the certainly the optimism that the people in the state of Rhode Island share with you and your investment, David. We're here to announce again that the Providence Industrial Trust Building, as we all know it as the Superman Building, Neil reminded me of that. I did watch that show on TV. But now, thanks to a strategic collaboration between the state and the city, the Rhode Island Foundation development team, led by the building's owner's principal, again, David Schweitzer, we finalized a plan, a $220 million project to convert this long vacant yet iconic tower into 235 residential housing units, 20% of which will be deeded as affordable housing. What is that going to mean to downtown Providence? It's going to breathe life into that. Then we take care of the bus transportation, Mayor, right? And then we are moving ahead in a good direction, right? And that's the next on the list to check off. So this is a really big deal for everyone that's in the state of Rhode Island. Housing, again, I'll repeat, how can we expect our sons and daughters to stay in the state of Rhode Island with us unless they have housing they can afford to live in, an economy that can support their families, the jobs that will make that available, and an education that will actually make all that happen. Because of everyone here today stepping up and working together, we've made it happen. And I emphasize we. The rehabilitation conversion will result in over 1,500 direct construction jobs throughout the project. We like that, Mike? The project will also have a labor agreement that will guarantee a prevailing wage for the construction workers. And the developer has committed to recruiting local, minority-owned businesses and woman-owned construction firms and pushing them to do at least 20% of the work. Tomas, I think we like that, right? And Tomas, thank you for your efforts in all these proceedings as well, and making sure that we have, a map of Rhode Island that builds out Rhode Island. That's the plan, right? Our state is rebounding, and the news like this makes me more confident than ever that we will emerge from this pandemic stronger than we went in. And as I've said, Dr. Jarre said it best when I was at a child's behavioral health, mental health conference, and he was asked the question. And by the way, I'm very proud that Dr. Jarre was part of our transition team and helping us with the vaccination. But he said, when are we moving back to 2019? And he thought a moment, and he says, we're not going back to 2019. When you have a worldwide event, like a pandemic, or a world war, or a depression, you never go back to where you were. But you can go to a better spot. And today, we're moving ahead to that better spot, thanks to everybody that's here today to put this project together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. So you've heard it. Hundreds of new residents brought to our downtown, hundreds of construction jobs, and restoring our skyline, lighting up that iconic building. And it means so much to our state, right? It's also a signal that we're back. We are in the process of emerging from the pandemic, and we are rebounding. And this is yet another sign, so thank you, Governor. I want to describe the project in a bit more detail and let the fantastic assortment of colleagues here do even better. 285 new units, 20% affordability. We thank David Schweitzer and Zach Darrow for a vigorous negotiation and enabling us to double the number of units originally proposed, up from 10% affordable to 20%, and deepened affordability in the additional units. We're pleased that, rightly, this is how a negotiation works. The developer proposed a subsidy at around $48 million of state investment. We were able to reduce that amount together, working together in partnership, reduce that amount by 45%. The state's contribution will now be $26 million. That's only 12% of project costs. Enormous credit to the developer, to David and to Zach, for making that possible. The project will be LEED certified, meaning that it will meet certain environmental standards thanks to the determination of the developer and work with his architectural team. There will be a commitment, best efforts commitment to MWBE contracting on the job. You heard from the governor that would be, the goal would be 20%. There is an anticipation of the construction activity occurring under a project labor agreement. Under a PLA, we will ensure that there are well-paid construction jobs, 1,500 plus, in this project. We are also pleased that if the project performs at a high level, there's the possibility that the state will receive some repayment based upon its amount of investment. It's a terrific project. All these new residential units right in our downtown, lighting up this building, an affordable component, environmentally sound, and I want to salute David Sweetser and his counsel, Zach Darrow, for stepping up in one additional way, which is an important early gesture, which is that, Karen Santilli, there'll be a contribution of $500,000 over the initial decade after the building is up and running, about 3 years, about $500,000 to Crossroads to support our community of individuals who are homeless. Ladies and gentlemen, this $220 million project will help our city, our capital city, and our state in so many ways.